Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Question of the Day show. This is the game show that lets you be on the air, and you can join us on the air by recording your video answers to our awesome daily questions. So it is finally time for the big show. JJ, Trish, you guys ready for the big show?
So ready.
Oh, yeah, let's bring it on.
Yeah, for all you guys who are new to us, here's how the big show works all week long. We have been releasing new questions of the day that you dutifully have been answering and watching and voting for. And so now we are taking the 6 best answers to each of our daily QOTDs and pitting them against each other in an awesome competition. We're going to go through each of those questions and all the answers, and then y'all going to vote. And then whoever it is that's voted the number one is going to go to the finals and then ultimately going to become the champion of the week. You can still become the champion of the week if you like by recording the orange record button that is right below our 24-hour game stream on BeOnTheAir.com. Otherwise, sit back and watch us on YouTube or Twitch or wherever it is that you happen to be watching. And we're looking forward to sharing all of this week's awesome fan answers from fans just like you. So Trish, we're at the end of the week. Do we have a theme?
Oh, good. We had a great theme. We were honoring Taylor Swift's new album release this week. So we went over love and loss and firsts and worsts. We went through failed first dates and cool crushes and maybe even sex with your ex.
Oh, a lot of really good topics this week, I see. Well, also, quick reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because we send out QOTD announcements every single day. We reveal a new one. So if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know and you'll be the first to record, which is, I would say, very helpful if you want to get on the big show and make it big.
Come join us. Should we get rolling?
Yeah, with no further ado, let's do.
All right. So our first question of the week was, can you really ever be friends with an ex? So, everybody
Welcome back to
wants to be,
QOTD, the game show that lets
aspires to
you
be friends
be
with
on
an
the air, record video answers to awesome daily questions, and be in the show with us. I'm Keith with today's QOTD question of the day, and you better listen up because today I'm talking about love. Is it possible to be real friends with an ex-lover? You'd think that of course you'd be friends with someone you shared so much with, but it's a thick stew of feelings you stir when an intimate relationship ends. Rejection, resentment, desire, love? It makes it complicated, internet. So I put it to you. Can you go from hooking up to hanging out? Click to go to BeOnTheAir.com to watch, vote, and record your own answer. Until then, I'm Keith, and I can't wait to see you on TV.
Well, with that amazing introduction from that glorious host.
Another fan favorite.
Thank you.
QOTD. I'm going to say no on this one. I'm giving it a hard pass. You can never just be friends again. There's always just going to be that little bit of closeness. You can reach over and touch their hand because you're comfortable, and you can ask them questions that they might even know the answer to already because you're so familiar. It's too familiar. And I'm going to say no. Too already because you're
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely, I like a lot of fan answers. We have some coming in actually, but I think a lot of fan answers would agree with you. A lot of fans disagree. Let's see what they have to say about this big question.
I think that I could be friends with my ex if, because I think I would choose people who I could get along with, even as just a friendship. I'm also like, I also get along with people very easily, so I think I could get along with someone even if they were my ex.
She's an optimist.
Yeah, which I think is a good balance.
So this is kind of interesting and funny to me. My last girlfriend broke up with me 2 years ago, and she had said she fully believed that we could still be friends. And I agreed because we'd been friends for years before we even started dating. What happened after that, though, is I've never heard from her again. Not once.
Sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's possible to be friends with an ex. And I actually think it's really cool when two people can like have shared that experience and then can still be respectful and like still chill after they get out of a relationship. But I also think it depends on the people involved and also the circumstances around the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You do not want to be friends with somebody who is a jerk. And that's what happens.
Honestly, in most cases, I would say no. They were in the past part of your life, and usually when you guys break up is because you guys aren't agreeing with something or whatever the case may be. You need to move on. But, you know, in some cases, yes, you guys can remain friends, and I've seen it work out.
That's good to know that there's like some
I think so,
hard
but I
evidence.
also have never had like an actual breakup. I've been with my boyfriend for like a really long time. But if we were to break up, I would think we'd be friends. I'd hope so, because you care about that person and obviously you liked them enough to like spend the time you did with them.
So in other words, she has no idea.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think it depends on the couple and the maturity of the two people involved and why you broke up. I have two like exes. I'm very good friends with one and it works totally fine because we both respect each other's boundaries. We respect the other relationships that we are in, and we broke up pretty mutually just because we like had an understanding that our futures weren't going to align ever. We both wanted very different things from life. But he's still one of my best friends. And like, I can honestly say that because we are both mature adult people who talk about things and make sure that our boundaries are clear in our friendship as well. But I also have an ex that I do not speak to, because he cheated on me and we done. I'm Sicilian American. That doesn't fly. You don't come back from that ever. So I think the answer is it depends on the two people involved, and maybe why they broke up.
All right. All good answers. How will we ever choose? Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to click one of the blue buttons that you see across the bottom of your screen and vote. And if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, you should use the link that's in the chat right now, which will open up a window that enables you to vote. It'll have 6 buttons on it. And the one corresponding to Rihanna or Greg or Neva or Nick or Lauren or Samantha is the one that you should click. Who's it going to be? Let's vote and send somebody to the championships.
Yes, I appreciate that a lot of people were drawing from personal experience, because that's what we like to see in our QOTD answers. You know, not just the opinions, but also the cold hard evidence from, especially from Greg and Samantha. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we are people of science, mostly. We want to see the evidence.
Yes, this is an educational show before it is anything else.
Oh, here comes the answer.
Ooh, let's see who it is.
Nick says, yeah, why not? You know, but I think that everybody generally was of the opinion that, you know, conditionally, yes. Like, we think that we would like to be broad-minded enough. There were reasons why we got together in the first place. You liked that person, or actually you liked something about them. And then generally speaking, you would want to be friends with them so long as they didn't like mess you up on the way out, right? Yeah. You want to sweep the floor. But so there was one answer there from a fan that was one of my favorites that didn't make it there. Gosh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he said, you can totally be friends once the crazy wears off. So you got to give it a little bit of space. If you guys want to see the rest of the answers, by the way, they're still running both on the site. And if you go to our channel at QOTD Game and you go to the playlist for this one, it's right up there on the top of the channel this week. There are all the answers there. And including, gosh, I wish I could remember this guy's name. But anyway, it was awesome. And there were many, many awesome answers.
But yeah.
So what do you say, guys? Shall we move on to question numero dos?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Here it is.
Welcome to the QOTD Game Show, the show that lets you be on the air, record video responses to our awesome daily questions, and come join the show. I'm Reid, and let's jump in with today's question. What's your absolute worst first date story? I have a confession to make. I accidentally stood somebody up one time. I overslept. I thought I'd set my alarm for an hour before the date and I set it for an hour after. And I ended up texting them and just apologizing profusely, and we rescheduled, but safe to say I felt very guilty. Let me know if you've ever pulled a move like that. I would love to know that I'm not alone. Just click to go to BeOnTheAir.com, our website, and watch, vote, and record yourself. Until then, I'm Reid, and we can't wait to see you on TV. I promise I'll be there.
Your worst first date story. Our theme this week was first and worst, so we combined them into one crappy date just for you. Seems like everybody's kind of got a story, right? Some are worse than others.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of hot to hear what the fans' stories are, and I hope that there's some really, good bad ones. Not bad ones, but only good bad ones, or maybe a bad good one. But I'd really like to hear a good bad one.
I fully followed that string of logic. Well, I think I would say my first date quickly is one time I had trouble finding parking, and so I was like a little late to a date. So hopefully they have better stories than that, worse stories than that. I'll say. Let's see what they have to say.
My worst first date story was when I went to the restaurant, but it was like the wrong restaurant. And so it was very embarrassing for a while, since I waited for a long time before I realized, oh yeah, this is not the place I was supposed to be at. So yeah.
Very similar to your story, JJ.
Yeah, a little bit.
The worst first date I have ever been on wasn't anything like profound or like ridiculously terrible, but it was just a long drawn out dinner at the Cheesecake Factory, which usually takes a couple of hours, but there were so many awkward silences and pauses. I just couldn't find ways to fill the silence, and there was just no connection.
See, that's a bad good one. It wasn't that bad. Or is that a bad one?
Or good one. On one of my first dates, I actually had a guy ask if his mom could come. Seriously. Let's just say I allowed it, but there was no second date after that.
What the what?
That's a bad one.
That is a bad one. Oh my
That's a good bad one.
No.
My first worst date would have to be my first time going out with someone I met online. We went to the movies, actually. We talked for 2 months before we actually went out.
Movies are a bad first date anyway.
I was gonna say movies are there.
My worst first date was one that I did not want to happen at all, but the guy showed up to my apartment and knocked on the side of my window after I had canceled. So I awkwardly said hi through the window and went outside and got coffee with him. Never texted him again.
Run and hide and change your phone number.
Okay, this one's really easy. The worst first date I ever had, I went to this Irish pub with this guy who I barely knew. I was 16, and the entire time, for 3 hours, he talked about why he didn't believe in evolution.
I would like...
And I stayed. I was so brave at 16 for staying. I stayed the entire time. I was just like, this is the worst thing ever. So I'm sorry, Tyler. No second.
I would like to get Bella on the air live and unpack this story. I have so many questions.
Starting with 16 at an Irish pub?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, guys, it is time to vote. Which of these stories did you think was the best? Which did you resonate to, or you thought was the most entertaining, or which was the truest advice ever? And let's just go ahead and vote for it. There are blue buttons across the bottom of your screen that you can click on if you're on BeOnTheAir.com. If you're on Twitch or YouTube watching us right now, there's a link in the chat that enables you to vote. So do it.
Please do. Let's get the voting on the road.
I just want to know, this guy who took his mom on the date with Heather, what was he thinking they were going to get out of this date? Was he thinking that his mother would be a delightful addition to it, and that it's clearly going to lead to greater things.
Delightful addition.
maybe he wanted to go, but his mom wouldn't let him, right?
Oh my God.
Yes, that was a bad one.
Bad, worst first.
Yeah, I've gone through my, apparently, as I went through my list of all the bad dates that I ever had, I've had quite a few, apparently. I'm thinking that it's not entirely their fault because there were enough of them. And only one or two were good enough for air. I did it in my recording. I told about the girl who cried. Yeah. But that was not the baddest bad one.
It's just the worst you can talk about.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Well, I feel for everybody who had a bad date. And here's the good news is that if you've ever had a date, you've had a worse date.
Oh.
And maybe it wasn't that bad. And that's why you weren't thinking about it as a worst date. But if it was your first date and it was your only date, then it was clearly the worst date and the best date.
Yeah. And even better, I'll take it a step further. If you've had a bad date, there's someone out there who's had a worse one. So chin up.
Clearly. There's always a bigger fish. That's a Star Wars reference, friends.
Oh.
Trish.
Oh.
Well,
sorry, Trish.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. So
go to episode 7.
Or question 3. Welcome back to QOTD, the game show that lets you be on the air. Record video answers to awesome daily questions to join us on the show. I'm JJ with today's question of the day, which is the most important philosophical question we could possibly ask. Dogs versus cats. Which is best and why? Look, you're either a dog person or a cat person. For this question, there's no in between. There's only a winner. Dogs are more fun and more loyal, while cats are calmer and more independent, and both can be just as cute as the other. There can only be one winner in this battle of the ages. So are you fighting for the felines, or do you think dogs are going to dominate? Let us know your answer. Click to go to BeOnTheAir.com to watch, vote, and record your own answer. Until then, I'm JJ, and I can't wait to see you on TV.
That our theme this week was first and worst. The reason that this is a very important question is because dogs are worse.
I was going to say exactly how are you tying this in? Clearly, dogs came first. Cats are the worst.
No.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Trish. I don't mean to be the tiebreaker here, but I do agree. I think that it's dog.
So dogs are first, cats are worst, and therefore you're cursed because you're a cat person.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All they do is bark and poop and jump, and you have to walk them.
And eat liverwurst.
I was going to say, and cats do 3 of those things as well.
Yeah, including liverwurst. Cats don't mind a little liverwurst.
I'm not going to keep going round and round this.
What does the internet have to say about cats versus dogs? Are we cat people? Yes. Come on, folks, or are we dog people out there? And it's really funny. It seems like the silliest question that we've ever put on, and yet people love to answer this question. People care. The people like passionately care about dogs versus cats.
Yes,
because I know. Because you can't have both.
No.
Can you?
No, there can only be one winner. And I think we have some answers coming in. So let's answer this question once and for all. Who wins?
Dogs versus cats, and why? For me personally, I like dogs more. But cats are more maintainable. You know, they take care of themselves. But if I had to pick one animal to have for the rest of my life, it'd be a dog. Because they're the best. They give you unconditional love. Cats, sometimes they don't even give you any attention at all. Unless they're hungry. Whereas dogs, they love you no matter what. And you can take them to the park. Can you take cats to the park? You can walk them. Can you walk cats? I mean, you can, but you would be like 1 out of 1,000 people who does that.
It's pathetic.
Dogs for the win, man's best friend.
But it is sort of sad how much like dogs love you. The worse you treat them, the more they love you.
I like cats way more than dogs. They're independent. I don't have to do too much to keep them going. But I'd rather own a dog. At the end of the day, I'd rather own a dog, which is why my dog is so perfect. A cat dog, the best times. But yeah, cats all the way. But if I can have both, like a cat dog, that's the choice, obviously.
His cat a cat dog. It's like a dog it's a cat that fetches.
A dog that meows.
I say neither dogs nor cats. In fact, I think bunnies are the best. Why? Because they're fluffy and they're very obedient.
That's closer to a cat. For the record.
Sure.
So I'm definitely a dog person. Not that I do not like cats. I just personally am a dog person. I like to be active outside, go on a run, do everything. And I know that my dog is always down to go outside and play around or go on a walk or something. And I just don't like when an animal goes to do their business in a house. So they can go do their business outside, take care of it, and then they'll be good for the rest of the time.
What, is Mickey an outdoor cat?
No.
Oh yeah, my cats go outside.
This is such a hard question for me to answer because I love animals. I guess I would have to say dogs because I've only ever had a dog as a pet, and I think dogs are so cuddly and like it feels so nice to have something that's like obsessed with you. But also I really love cats. I've just started like obsessing over cats too. I think I relate to cats a lot. I feel like their personalities are very like human-like and they like don't really want to be touched but also want to be touched at the same time, and they're just really like sassy, and I don't know, it's hard to pick. I feel like I'm both, honestly, but probably more towards the dog side just because I've had a dog, so I understand them more. Like honestly, I'm kind of scared of cats. They're like kind of scary. They're so unpredictable. But like dogs, like they just want to be pet and like they just want to give you kisses.
She explained everything I feel about women right there when she was talking about cats. I'm drawn to them, but I don't like them. I find them frightening.
Dogs
They want to be
versus
touched.
cat.
I don't want to be touched.
Who's the best?
What do you do?
In my opinion, dogs are better than cats because they're just a lot smarter and a lot more loyal than cats. And basically, that's why I think dogs are better.
That is a man who's never owned a cat.
Yeah.
But I feel like the arguments have been laid out here, right? You can see in these answers, the people who love their cats, they love their cats for their sort of independent spirit and their personality. And like they like them as, separate individuals, and people who love their dogs just love the fact that their dogs just love them and want to be with them. And so it is up to you, Internet. Which of these arguments do you find most compelling? What is it that you want to have around you? Let's vote and see what is better, cats versus dogs. And just remember that whichever one we vote off the island will be gone forever.
Oh my God.
You don't get to have both. I actually have 2 cats and 2 dogs. I feel like I am fully informed in this one. And I think you guys know where I stand.
Yeah, you've made it clear.
Yes, everybody, it's time to vote. Click the blue button. If you don't see a blue button on the bottom of your screen, you were probably watching on YouTube or Twitch, but just take a look in the chat. There's a link right there that allows you to vote. And then we shall know. See, Becca, I mean, it was clear that she was torn.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I gotta say that when she starts talking about cats and why they're great and all that sort of stuff. But then she starts talking about dogs and they love you. It's unconditional. And it just makes me feel so immature for liking dogs.
Oh.
Because like dogs are just like, it's so easy. It's unconditional.
They're a little desperate. To be honest.
Exactly. But yeah, you have a hard day at work. You come home. Is Mickey like leaping into your lap?
Yeah, he follows me around like a puppy, you might say. Yeah, he's a great companion.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I know that my dog Harley, whenever I come home, even like when I walk down the stairs in the morning, she always is like literally her whole body is shaking and like her tail is thwacking cabinets and stuff because she's so excited. But
I love it when they do the commando crawl, when they're like so happy to see you, they like walk towards you.
I mean, pets are just the best. They're both the best. It's whatever.
But
makes
I think we can all agree that fish suck.
Yeah, anything in a tank or a cage. Yeah.
I mean, the bunnies get out of the cage.
Mhm.
That was my sense of that. Those little Cornelios are like crawling around, and they just happen to be in the cages right now because he has them outside.
Exactly.
Well, congratulations, Becca. You are making it to the finals, and then we will see you again when we do the final rundown. Let's move on to the next question.
Let's do it. Here it is.
Welcome back to QOTD, the game show that lets you be on the air. Record video answers to our awesome daily questions and get in the show. I'm Trish with today's QOTD question of the day, and love is in the air. Who was your very first celebrity crush? Dreaming of being with a celebrity is a childhood rite of passage. Whether it was a TV star, a supermodel, or some big screen babe, crushing on a famous person is something nearly all of us have experienced. We fell asleep listening to their music or staring starry-eyed at their poster above our beds. So which celebrity was your first fantasy love? Join our almost famous friends who watch, vote, and record.
Perfect.
Celebrity crushes. Who were you dreaming about under the stars? For me, it was always a bad boy rock and roll, Bon Jovi, Eddie Van Halen type.
Yeah, with the long hair.
Maybe a mullet.
Oh, mullets are an underappreciated haircut. They're on the right person, they work.
Yeah.
It's like the man bun. Same thing, right?
But it expresses such a different message. Did you ever go for the man bun type? No.
No, because they're younger than me.
Yeah,
I'm
you
too
want business
old.
in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
And that's the mullet. Yeah. Now for me, it was like, the glorious days of early 70s television, and there was like a plethora of amazing choices when you were, a young guy like myself, and you had like Elizabeth Montgomery. She was in Bewitched. And then there was I Dream of Jeannie, and she was like smoking hot, and she was kind of walking around in pajamas all day long. It was really great. I couldn't decide between the two of them. It was like 2 hours of television watching every day. It was like a job, but I loved them and I had to do it.
Oh my gosh, you know who I just remembered? The nanny. I've seen clips of like the nanny Fran
Drescher, yeah.
Yeah.
But second she opened her mouth. Yeah, exactly. But there was the nanny from Nanny and Professor, and she was like Mary Poppins except hot.
Oh.
I don't know, but maybe you don't remember that one.
No. I remember Super Nanny though.
Yeah, well, she was very strict. Maybe you like that kind of thing.
Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see if they also have crushes on nannies. What are they answering?
So my first celebrity crush was Matty B. Raps, and at the time I think he was a really popular person for kids that age to have a crush on. So yeah, I don't think it's very unordinary.
A YouTuber. We are that old that people are having crushes on YouTubers now.
Without a doubt, Aaron Carter was my first celeb crush. His concert was the first I ever went to in 4th grade, and his song I Want Candy was my anthem for like 3 full years of my life. Rest in peace, Aaron. You are greatly missed.
R.I.P. AC.
So true.
My first celebrity crush, I would have to say, was Harrison Ford. What Lies Beneath? he's laying in the bed with Michelle Pfeiffer. He's kind of like sitting there on his laptop or reading a book or something. And I don't know how old he was there, probably mid-40s or 50s, but dude was ripped. And I was like, okay, I like that.
An awakening.
A truly awakening.
Harrison Ford.
This is a little embarrassing, and I can't believe I'm about to admit this, but when I was very young, my first celebrity crush was Miss Piggy from the Muppets. I liked the way that she handled business. I always said I wanted myself an action girl, and Miss Piggy is indeed an action girl.
If you think about it, it's a very evolved response.
Yeah, it's mature.
Who was your first celebrity crush? Well, it was Jimmy Osmond. I'll be your long-haired lover from Liverpool, and I'll do anything you ask. And he was part of the Osmond family, and I used to watch them on a Sunday morning, and also the Jackson 5 family. So I used to watch them both, but Jimmy was my favourite.
You know, most people like Donnie. But Jimmy, it's an interesting choice.
Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill. Since
Another
before I
interesting
could
choice.
remember.
So I guess it's true. It's the funny guys.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the theory is it's like, even if you don't have the most attractive, even if you have like the most attractive physical features, being a funny person is a huge asset when it comes to attractiveness.
All right.
There you go.
Well, guys, let's see what you think. Is it got to be somebody hot like Miss Piggy, or maybe you go for the funny sort? I mean, Jimmy Osmond also like not the best looking of the Osmonds. Anyways, Kaylee London, Bartimus Elijah, Fifi Bell, or Taylor. Let's vote for one of them by clicking the blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, there is a link in the chat that will enable you to vote.
Yes, it will. I think we got a good mixed bag. I do appreciate Kaylee because her crush, I would say, is like the most recent crush that we have on the list. And it makes everyone in the audience feel old.
So who's Taylor Swift crushing on? I mean, this is kind of our overarching theme.
Oh, yeah. It's always someone new, right?
Yeah. No, most recently it was Matt Healy, but I think there's been controversy.
Oh, the funny guy.
Yeah, I noticed that her name is Taylor. So Taylor is apparently crushing on Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill.
And sticking with our theme for the week, Taylor Swift, Taylor Winner.
Exactly.
Love it.
I'm not exactly sure what's the difference between Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen.
Oh, probably a couple $1 million. Would be my guess.
All right.
Mhm.
I love that question.
Yeah, no, it's a new one. It's one that we actually just introduced this week, right? So
I feel like I learned a lot about myself in trying to answer this question.
Well, I think we talked about it before. Your first celebrity crush, it does stick with you whether you're aware of it or not. So it's a good one to ask.
Harrison Ford.
That was a great answer.
Yeah, but I understandable. Well, I think we have our next question coming up. So let's see what it is.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to QOTD, the game show that lets you be on the air, record video answers to awesome daily questions, and be in the show. I'm JJ with today's question of the day for everyone who's single and ready to mingle. What's something on a dating profile that would immediately scare you away? Today, we're talking red flags and the ick. Maybe they take an interest in fishing or astrology, and that's just not your style. Maybe their profile has too many selfies, too many filtered photos. Whatever it is, we're examining dating profiles, and what on them would immediately turn you off. So pick your poison. What on a dating profile would be an immediate no? Record your video answer and join our pack of friends who watch, vote, and record.
I am going to tell you guys, you really got to look at all of the photos. photos when you go through, because you want to see the people that this person is with and just really pay attention. Because if it's like a guy and it's the same 3 guys in every photo, you're going to be the odd man out. He's a total bro. And you know what they say about bros. So, or if it's like her with her dad in every photo, I think you should pay attention. I think that they should have varied experiences and also various friend groups. Do they get invited to weddings? That's important. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, during the announcement of this one, Reid was talking about thruples. And so, yeah, if you just see somebody with just like one other person, or maybe with their dog every time, you're possibly volunteering for a throuple.
Yeah, no, I think the big takeaway is make sure that you, and if you're building a profile, this is advice too, make sure that you show that you have a life outside of the dating profile. You know, not too many selfies, not too many photos with one group. You got to show all facets of yourself and make it interesting and fun.
Listen up, internet. JJ knows.
I have built enough of them to know what works and what doesn't.
Each one under a different name.
JJ, there's John, there's Jacob, all J names, by the way, because we all know that J names are the best people to date. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see what turns them off in a dating profile.
If I were to read on someone's dating profile that they didn't like animals, not only would it scare me off, but I would consider it a huge red flag.
Definitely.
Yep. Good answer.
Something that would definitely scare me away from someone's dating profile would be too much information. I think dating profiles are supposed to be short and sweet, and maybe even funny too, but I think when there's a whole paragraph, I think it can be a bit of a turnoff for some.
Yeah.
Unless the whole thing rhymes.
Something on a dating app that would scare me off is if someone has very traditional views, since I'm a very progressive person. So I want someone to be more open-minded, and yeah, that's something that would match well with my personality, I guess.
Open-minded in what ways, Rihanna? I'm just teasing you. It's a good answer.
So I'd have to say, if your profile says married 4 times and still looking for Mr. Right, I'm probably not going any further. We're not going to swipe either way. We're just going to close it and call it a day. Let's be completely honest. Or loves Brussels sprouts. Who loves Brussels sprouts?
You've gone too far, Andre.
Wow. Well, okay. Don't
you had me on 4 marriages.
One thing that would scare me, I think, would be definitely if they say they run marathons with their family on Thanksgiving. I would not be for that. So.
Agreed. Like, what's the message that they're trying to get across?
Something on a dating profile that would scare me off would be if the guy knows too much about his horoscope, or he's under 5'3", or actually make that 5'7", or all of his pictures are shirtless. And
I mean, it's good to have at least one, but not all of them.
Maybe that's what the open-mindedness that Rihanna was talking about. Just a little bit of it.
So let's all swipe left or right on these folks right here. Click on the blue button. We're going to send somebody to the finals. When you click, you are voting, and whoever gets the most votes is going to the next round. Holy smokes, there were some good ones here. Doesn't like animals, too much information, don't like those traditional views. Brussels sprouts. Come on, Andre. China, she doesn't like the virtuous type. You know what I'm saying? The guys who, go running with their family on Thanksgiving. And remember, guys, 5'7". That's the number that you got to put. It's got to be 5'7" or higher, regardless of how tall you actually are. Let's not talk about you being a Sagittarius.
Exactly. Yeah. If you know your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, don't even get me started.
I've never even heard those terms before, JJ, and I'm shocked that you know them.
Well, let's just say I don't know a lot about it, but I don't think I would be dating Lexi. No, a lot of my friends are into astrology, and so I kind of picked it up from them. So that's how I know a lot of the stuff. Osmosis.
Trina.
Hey.
I so agree. You want somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously. Look, you want somebody who takes care of themselves and has self-respect, but like there's a certain amount of discipline that just goes too far. Right? Let's be fun and lighthearted. Open-minded, of course. And you know, if you're like a Capricorn, then I can't date you, but somebody could, you know.
Exactly.
It's only because I'm a Sagittarius. My rising sign is up in them.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I know my sign. I know my birthstone. That's it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, I think Shane, in honor of Shayna's answer, a very specific answer, I might add. Do we want to run along to the next answer?
Let's do it.
Or the next question. Sorry. Here it is.
Welcome back to the QOTD Game Show, the show that lets you be on the air. Record video responses to our awesome daily questions and come join us on the show. I'm Reid with today's question of the day, and it's a little bit embarrassing, but let's get into it. Tell us about an awkward late night text you sent. Maybe you had a little bit too much wine, or maybe you were just really tired and thoughts were racing around your head, but we want to know. Personally, I can't think of any weird texts I may have sent, but I definitely have a really bad habit of replying to people's Instagram stories. Even if we've never talked before, I'll act like we're best friends, and I think they think I'm so weird, but come bare your soul to us and join our friends who watch, vote, and record themselves. Record your own video answer and join our pack of fans who watch, vote, and record themselves.
Well, maybe you were drinking. Maybe you were just careless. Maybe you were feeling a little lonely. But what did you let fly off your fingertips and out into wherever it wasn't supposed to go?
The world.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've definitely sent a lot of, for me, it's a lot of, I wouldn't say awkward, but it's a lot of like, I get drunk and I get into my bed and then I get very like lovey-dovey. I'm like, oh, I text like friends. I'm just like, I love you all. I'm so happy to know you. But it's just definitely like the liquid courage. It allows me to sort of be a little bit more positive and say what's on my heart and on my mind.
I think it's good. I'm sure. I bet people appreciate it. I wouldn't worry about that too much. That's not too much to be embarrassed.
That is so sweet.
Unless you said it to the wrong person.
Yeah. I sent it to like one of my like random contacts, and it's like, oh, to my dentist, or I'm like, you're great. Oh, and he's like, what?
I will tell you guys that I saw. So we ran a poll through the YouTube community notification thing, and if you guys are subscribers, you already saw it. And the poll was, who would it be most embarrassing to send an awkward text to? Is it your mom? Is it your boss? And number one answer by far was your children. And like, yes, right? Because everybody else, you can explain it away. Like, I'm sorry, honey. You know, but like you send it to your kids, it's just like,
yeah. Because just on a normal day, you're so embarrassing to them, right? Like you can do no right ever. And so then you really screw up and it's like, oh, see, I told you were an idiot.
Well, I think it's funny. Oftentimes it's like the most embarrassing texts, not even like any fault of the person. It's literally a fault of autocorrect. Like the number of text messages I get from my mom that are just like gibberish. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah. I actually have to say that was the last time I had to apologize for a message was from autocorrect.
Yeah. I know. One time I was shopping with my kids and we got separated and I sent a text saying I just popped into Macy's, but it came out, I just pooped in Macy's.
Exclamation point, exclamation point.
I just pooped in Macy's. Found a dress I really like.
We're like, thanks, Mom. Oh, anyway, moving on.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think we have some fan answers coming along, so let's see what they have to say about this question, what texts they've sent.
Well, I've only sent drunken texts to some people that I was friends with, perhaps. Well, it was just one guy, and he was okay with it. I mean, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
The sexy text.
I've never been drunk before, but I have sent some very ridiculous texts by accident when you're trying to say something, but you just type the wrong things. Yeah. But I've never been drunk before.
It sounds
I
like she
feel like
also
she's
pooped
the
at
perfect
Macy's.
human.
This is sweet.
Yeah, go Rihanna.
This is super random, but one time I sent my friend a text that said that I had lasagna in the oven and it was burning, but like I was in a car the entire time, and I don't think I regret it, but it's super random. I don't think I enjoyed it.
It is super random.
Just like not even home, haven't even taken out
All
the
of the
ingredient.
drunk texts I've sent have been very nice. Too nice. They're just in all caps. I love you. You're the best person in the whole world. And it's to my dentist. It's just to random people in my phone. But I don't regret sending them. Maybe sending them to certain people. But no. A little dose of positivity. You're welcome if you get that. You're
Telling your dermatologist how much they mean to you is important.
I haven't sent many drunk texts, but my friend in college, when I was drinking one night, was texting me, and he asked me how I was, and I wanted to play it cool, so I said warm, because I was just being honest. I was pretty warm, and I didn't have to apologize the next day, because he made me feel really, really sorry that I'd said it over the course of the next couple of months.
So was she playing it cool, or was it really warm?
I've sent a lot of them, but one time I called out this friend on how they were treating me, and I was kind of mean with it, and I did apologize, but I also feel like I was in the right anyway, but yeah, there's too many to count.
That's what I'm talking about. Truth bomb.
Yeah.
That's why they invented alcohol. So you get to do those sorts of things. Guys, it's time to vote. We need to lay some truth on these guys. Which one has the best answer? Which is the one that you agreed with and resonated with you? What inspired you or made you laugh? Which is the one that educated or something or else, whatever. Did you do that thing that Angel, Rihanna, Lisabella, Sadie, or Shina did? Let's find out by clicking the blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. Whoever gets the most votes will go to the finals. That's right. If you don't see those blue buttons on the bottom of the screen, just click on the link that's sitting in chat, and that'll open up a window that'll enable you to vote. These votes are being tabulated in real time, and so the answer that will show up at the end will be the one that you voted for. Don't believe me? Just go ahead and vote. You'll find out.
Yes.
I dare you. I double dog dare you to vote. Here it comes.
Oh, the winner. See?
Proof positive. It was a good answer. I really did appreciate that.
Yeah.
She just said what was on her mind. And that's why I have an app that says you can't send texts after 10 o'clock. Because otherwise I'm going to start telling the truth to people, and we don't want that.
No.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, they always say that drunk speech is sober thoughts. And yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. I think it's it definitely, if you don't want to say your thoughts, it's a good idea to keep your phone away from you, because if you're drunk, you will say.
Trish and JJ, if you guys see a text coming in for me at 11 o'clock, just delete it.
I can't screenshot it. Then I'll delete it.
I'll screenshot it. I'll send it to the work chat, and then I'll delete it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, then let me apologize in advance. So that was an awesome question. And then a ton of activity on it. People gave tons of answers. Those were the best. Shayna was the best of the best, but there were plenty more. And I got to say that these things come into rotation all the time, and we show them in the all-day show sort of randomly. And so go ahead and answer the questions. It'll still show up on the air. So we want to hear what you had to say to Awkward Late Night Text or any of the other QOTDs that you're seeing right here. Well, with that, what do you say? Let's go on to the next one.
Let's do it. I think this is our last one of the week, actually. So
get those fingers ready.
Yes, here it is.
Well, welcome back to QOTD, the game show where you get to be on the air. Join our army of fans by recording video answers to our awesome daily questions. I'm Trish, and here's today's QOTD question of the day. What's a strange superstition you have? For me, it's definitely twos. I have this weird thing about even numbers and twos in particular. They're very lucky for me. My luckiest address was 26 Center, and my very unluckiest address was 35 North Main. And I knew it before we ever even bought the place. What's something superstitious that may seem silly to somebody else, but that you believe in? We'd love you to join our army of fans who watch, vote, and record. Join our almost famous friends who watch, vote, and record. So what is a strange or spooky superstition that you have? We asked our fans. We got a huge response for this one. JJ, what's your deal?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. I mean, we talked about this before. I'm a big knocker. I knock.
Oh, I know
the,
what you're saying.
Yeah, I do the knocking on the wood. I talked about like the knocking on the head, the Pinocchio substitution.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this also before. I'm a person who sometimes often will lock my car. I'll press the thing 3 times just to make absolutely sure that it's locked. If I'm like, oh, I don't remember if I did it that one time.
I do that too.
Trish, you were saying some weird thing about counting on sevens. What the heck is that all about?
Evens. Everything has to be even. So if I'm pumping my gas, it has to end in an even number. I don't like to live places that are odd numbers. Everything has to be, even Steven.
Yeah, that's very ironic considering how odd you are.
Hey!
Not planned, people. No, I have I get sort of wedded to objects. Things become tokens for me. And then, so I have lucky objects or things that I always wear at certain times a day, these fun shirts. Yeah. Like after Memorial Day, I wear a fun shirt every day, and then I won't wear it during the winter because it means something to me. But I've got 1,000 of these things, my favorite penny or the thing from whatever, some toenail clipping from my dog that I have to carry around all the time. It's just kind of weird. But so, yeah, I get good fortune, I believe, somehow rests in the spirits of objects.
Yeah, I'm that way with money. I like the older, if I get an older $20 bill from the 80s or something, I don't want to spend it because I feel like it's something rare and it's something special.
And maybe it is.
Yeah, it's a weird superstition.
But I hear you. A lot of people have touched that thing and it has a certain amount of history. And so, ickiness aside, there's some sort of texture to it. I live in an old house for the same reason. I like the idea that a lot has happened here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see what the fans had to say.
I think we have some superstitions coming in, luckily. So, yes, let's see.
Writing on the wall.
For some reason, I really believe that if you break glass, you have bad luck for 7 years. My youngest just broke a mirror and, well, he's hooped now.
He's hooped now. What the heck? Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know.
Could somebody please write in?
One weird superstition of me would be that whenever something's gonna happen or I know something that can happen, if I think about it and don't say it, it will happen. But if I say it, then it won't happen.
Right? That's a Kanahara, as my people say.
Yeah, no,
my superstition is a pretty common one. I think everyone's heard about the knock on wood 3 times to get rid of the bad juju. So if someone says something negative or is foreshadowing something bad to happen, I have to knock on wood 3 times in order to let all of that energy out and bring in the good vibes only.
You can spit on the ground twice too. That helps.
Okay, a weird superstition that I have is that people can tell what you're thinking even without you saying anything. But it obviously has to be with you two side by side, or at least if you're not physically right next to each other, then at least you have to be able to see their face and see their reaction to external factors. But I feel like we're able to read each other's minds at times.
This could easily lead to paranoid, episodes.
Well, my superstition is number 13 is unlucky.
The Swifties would disagree. In honor of Taylor Swift, the Swifties would disagree.
It's odd.
Well, let me start off by saying in the world we live in today, I don't know what is real anymore. So a superstitious person is a person who believes in something that is not real or possible. Now, for me, in that sense, I find that interesting because I believe ghosts or everything that has to do with superstition is real in the sense that has to do with the individual. See, if you believe it to be true, then you track that.
It's a big world out there. We don't know everything.
Right? The law of attraction.
Yeah. Exactly. Wow. What'd be really good luck is if you voted, right? We got to send one of these guys to the finals. We want to send the best one, somebody who resonated with you. Maybe their superstition is one that you also share. Maybe you just like what they had to say. Sarah, Martin, Raman, Devin, Jawad, or Smiley. Go ahead and click for one of these guys and we will send them to the finals, which is coming right up.
Yes. I will say Martin's answer, that is actually a superstition that I follow very closely too. It's like, if I think something, or if I'm like, oh, I'm going to ace this, like, part of something, I don't say it. I try to think it, but I don't say it out loud because then it's like bringing it into the universe and it's almost like a jinx.
It's funny how common that one is. But yeah, everybody said that one.
Hey!
The great thing about Martin is that when he was answering it, he had this spooky tone to his voice. It was like, well, here's one that I'll share with you. And you could see that it was important to him. So, and that's the kind of stuff that we want to hear. For those of you who are recording, allow me to say that. Letting us know how you feel seems to be one of the pathways towards making to the finals, just like Martin here.
Yes, it is. Speaking of the finals, I think it's time. We've gone through all 7 questions for the week. We have our 7 semifinalists. So now it's time for the championships. Yes, so now we are going to choose the winner, the top answer for the week. Very exciting.
I think that what we should do is run through each of the answers quickly and then have the vote. And let's just get right to it.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Here is the recap.
Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill, since before I could remember.
And Taylor's answering the question of who's your first celebrity crush?
This is such a hard question for me to answer because I love animals. I guess I would have to say dogs because I've only ever had a dog as a pet. And I think dogs are so cuddly and it feels so nice to have something that's obsessed with you. But also I really love cats. I've just started obsessing over cats too. I think I relate to cats a lot. I feel like their personalities are very human-like and they don't really want to be touched, but also want to be touched at the same time. And they're just really sassy. And I don't know, it's hard to pick. I feel like I'm both, honestly, but probably more towards the dog side just because I've had a dog. So I understand them more. Honestly, I'm kind of scared of cats. They're kind of scary. They're so unpredictable, but dogs, they just want to be pet and they just want to give you kisses.
Such an interesting answer. She's answering the question, who's better, cats or dogs?
One weird superstition of me would be that whenever something's gonna happen or I know something that can happen, if I think about it and don't say it, it will happen. But if I say it, then it won't happen.
We're not sure the mechanism, but Martin's telling us his superstition.
Honestly, in most cases, I would say no. They were in the past part of your life, and usually when you guys break up is because you guys aren't agreeing with something or whatever the case may be. You need to move on. But, in some cases, yes, you guys can remain friends, and I've seen it work out.
Yeah, Nick is telling us whether or not you can be friends with an ex.
I can do that. On one of my first dates, I actually had a guy ask if his mom could come. Seriously. Let's just say I allowed it, but there was no second date after
is telling us about her worst first date. That was a bad first date.
One thing that would scare me, I think, would be definitely if they say they run marathons with their family on Thanksgiving. I would not be for that.
These are red flags in a dating profile. We don't want your virtue.
I've sent a lot of them, but one time I called out this friend on how they were treating me, and I was kind of mean with it, and I did apologize. But I also feel like I was in the right anyway. But yeah, there's too many to count.
So Shayna's telling us about her worst first date. She had 2 answers in there. Well, now we totally got to vote 1 through 7. Click on the blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. Let's send one of these folks to the finals. Excuse me, to be the champion of the week. This is the big decision time.
Yeah.
Don't see those buttons on the screen. Go ahead and click on the link in chat, and you'll still have a chance to vote. Just go ahead and just click on the blue. There's no download. There's no sign up. We just want to hear what you have to say. Vote.
Yes. Well, a good week of questions. We went through the cringiest parts. We got some hot takes, and we have lived to tell the tale.
Live to tell the Taylor Swift.
Hey.
Oh, no, that wasn't very good. I should. Don't vote for me, folks.
Ooh, here it comes.
Drum roll.
Oh, here it is.
Shayna answering one of the questions.
Late night awkward text.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
So, Taylor was answering the question Celebrity Crush. That was a new question for this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she will be getting a little special prize.
That's
so
right.
Taylor, congratulations. You won $25. Yeah, exactly. Keep an eye out for those new questions as they surface. As a special way to win a special prize.
Well, you know what? We've got another special question tomorrow, Keith.
Oh my goodness. Tell me.
Mm-hmm. So the coming week that begins is about superheroes. And we're going to be celebrating Comic-Con by asking our fans some fanciful questions about featured creatures and Star Wars and zombie attacks and lands of make-believe. And that's how we're kicking it off by asking, what fictional universe would you want to live in?
Ooh, so that's smart, but that's not a new question. Do we have a new question as well?
Yes,
that's
I think
not our
we do.
new question.
No, fictional universe it's a great question. And you can win and become the champion, but it's not a new question.
Okay, you want the new question.
Exactly. Is there a new question that has a cash prize associated with it?
Yeah, you weren't clear in what you were looking for.
I'm looking for the money.
New question is about mythological or fictional creatures. If you could take one from the land of Never Never Land and bring it home as a pet, what is it?
Oh, which mythological creature would you like to have as a pet?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We will ponder this one on the hills of on the sides of Olympus or something like that. But that'll be very interesting. But so check in every day. There's a new question every day for you to answer. You click the orange record button that's right beneath the 24-hour live game stream, and then you just simply record yourself. It's as simple as that. You can comment at any time, and you can watch the other answers. You can vote for your favorites. You can send stars to people that you thought were really awesome. And it's just kind of lots of goodness going on all the time. We're going to be introducing some additional shows on YouTube and Twitch this week as well. So also keep an eye on our chat. One of the best ways to find out the new stuff that's going on, as well as to be the first person to get your QOTDs, is to subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Twitch. And that is going to be like your ticket to getting some insight into the crazy inner workings over at QOTD, the Question of the Day show.
Yes.
So when do you guys want to send us home?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it. Well, this has been QOTD's Thursday Big Show. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and a special thank you to everyone who's watched, voted, and recorded. In honor of Taylor Swift's Speak Now, Taylor's version, I think that's actually coming out tonight, which is very exciting. Make sure to stream that so you can get what we have been talking about this whole week. And finally, we will see you on TV. Bye, everyone.